Yo, what's up YouTube? RAPiiD here, back with another MK video, and as you can see, we're gonna be making another tier list video, and yeah, I know it's been only a week since Spawn came out, but I thought it's time. I think I have his verdict. It's a little early, so this could change, but I can confidently think I know where I want to put him, honestly, and so yeah, I was go ahead and make this tier list video. And also, there was a balance patch since the last time I made a tier list, so I do think the tier list kind of changed a little bit. And yeah, I just want to go ahead and say two things before start skipping through the video, see where your character is, and see my final tier list. And this tier list is based off of the competitive variations alone. So the casual match, like some characters are better in casual matches, like Terminator. Like, you can use his, he's broken in casual matches, but we're just doing competitive variations only. So don't include casual matches, just straight up competitive variations. And then also I wanted to say that I know a lot of people will put some characters, they will upplay some characters because they are very annoying. Just because they are very annoying doesn't mean they are very good. And if you just put in the time, some characters, even though they are very annoying to deal with, you can easily deal with. And I just want to say that because there's a few characters that I know a lot of people put high up, and they do not deserve to be, high up, like S tier, for example. So we're gonna go ahead and get into the first character. We have Baraka. So I'm gonna put Baraka in A tier. I think Baraka is very, very good. I think he's in a very good place. I don't think he needs to be really buffed or nerfed. I think he's a really good character. Can be kind of annoying sometimes, but I say he has pretty good variations. I say he has two good variations, and one is good for matchups. So his first variation is like Marauder, and it has Gutted and Baraka Barrage, and pretty much that's just like you can just like your punishing variation. Since he has that fast mid, you can easily punish pretty much anything in the game. And well, not anything, but like most things, such like that doesn't leave a lot of space. Pretty much punish, and you can get easily 34% without even trying. Honestly, like you can just pick up the character and honestly do his most simple combo and get 34%, and that's not even without doing his most his max damage combos. So, and then other variation that's pretty good that I like is the Berserker variation. A little bit more mixed up with the leg kebab. Can be fuzzied, but still is pretty good. Usually catches most people off guard. Also, you got Blade Charge, and the Baraka Zerker, which is very, 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 can be quite annoying. And then in the second variation, you have Blood Lunge, which you tackle your opponent. I'm pretty sure that's like a command grab. I don't think that's block. I don't think you can block it. Like I said, I don't use Baraka a whole bunch, but I'm almost positive you can't block that. And then you have Spine Burst, which is probably the best anti-air in the game. Very, like I said, it's very match. You use this usually in different matchups, especially against like upgraded Jackie. Could be very good against Luke Kung Lao and any person who really jumps a lot, because it honestly really is one of the best anti-air special moves in the game, for sure. So yeah, I think that's pretty much all I wanted to really say about Baraka. So next we'll go ahead and go on to Cassie Cage. Cassie I think is A tier as well. I'm gonna, for right now, I'm gonna put Cassie as better than Baraka. I do think she's a top tier character. I don't think she's S tier, but I do definitely think she is a top tier character. She's definitely up there. She's like, she was definitely like S tier before she was nerfed, and now she got nerfed. I think it was honestly a good nerf. You know what I'm saying? I don't think it was a bad nerf. I think she's in a good place. I think the people who use her and stuck with her, I think, are the people who I think NetherRealm wants to be using them. So she pretty much, well, she could probably get a buff in her third variation. Okay, so so she has two good variations in my opinion, and then one like terrible variation, probably honestly the worst variation in the game, which is Subso D. Definitely probably one of the worst variations in the game. I might be downplaying it, but because some people heard some people say it's good, but I really feel like if you win with this, you're just straight up better than the other person, and that's just it. Um, Next, we'll talk about her digital soldier, which is the variation I prefer. Obviously, you get kneecapping, you get low projectile, you get air bullet barrage, which is really good for like countering, different people who stay in the air a lot. Flipping out, which I don't really use too much. I don't think that's really used like too much use, but mainly Cage is more of a spacing, zoning character who also has a restand, solid damage, and really good at whiff punishing. Has very good whiff punish moves, kind of like her mother. But I think she just all around is a really good character. And if you're one of the people who like to have restands and still be able to do your work while zoning out, I think definitely is a character that you can use. And then you also got her second variation. She has that really good shoulder charge, and then the BLB bubble, which gives you a stagger. Well, not stagger. Like makes the opponent like stagger, so you can actually get a combo. Less damage than Digital Soldier, but it still is a pretty good variation. You don't see it a lot in Combat League or anything like that. You mainly see people in high level play use it, and they use it very well. I don't personally use it, but like I said, if I use Cassie, I usually use Digital Soldier. So next, we go ahead and go into Cetrion. So Cetrion, so we'll go ahead and put her in S tier for sure. Cetrion is probably going to be one of the best characters in the game for the whole year. For the whole life cycle of this game, I can't see why she wouldn't be. Definitely would say her spring cleaning is her best variation. Then you have Force of Nature, which is pretty good as well. Her third variation, to me, I don't see a point of really using it, but her base kit is so good that you could honestly get away with using it. Like I said, maybe there is matchups that it works in. I'm just not too sure. I'm not Cetrion main. I'm sure y'all Cetrion mains could let me know in the comment section. But yeah, Cetrion is definitely pretty good. I when I use her, which I rarely do, she's my least used character in this game. I usually use spring cleaning. Has that geyser, which can go into some combos, which can actually get some slight damage with, and has the teleport, of course, as well. And she obviously best zoner in the game. I think it really takes a certain type of player to really use her, and I think people hate on her a lot because she's can be a very lame character to play against, but in terms of the people who play her at high level are very good. So I don't know, that's all I can really say about her. Next we have Devora. So this is one of the characters a lot of people like to upplay and put her mid tier. I still think she's low tier. I think she's still a low tier character, and believe it or not, she's actually even one of my mains, and I say that. And yes, Devora is very good, but there's I say very good, but she's good, but like she lacks. First of all, she lacks a mid, an actual mid that actually is reliable to punish. There's some things you can punish, especially since they made it so it's like 5 seconds. Not 5 seconds, 5 frames more of so you can punish. And but her like fastest mid is like 17 frames, I think, if I remember that correctly. And of course she has her forward 1-3, but it's so slow that you most of the time it's just gonna get ducked. If you know the matchup, you're just gonna duck it. And she like, so pretty much your only option is down 4, which gives you a stagger. I like to usually do down 4 into I cannot remember what it's called. I can't remember what it's called right now, but it's like the move that the Katipo Rush. That's what it's called. But yeah, that's what I usually like to do with it. But it's not like a true combo. It can be blocked easily. It just really just keeps you safe, and makes you, actually I think you even lose your turn on that anyway. But so yeah, that's what makes her, I think, really weak in this game. I think people think she's good, especially because the first two variations. So the first variation is more of a setup variation and is a very, very fun variation to use. You get all those bugs that's going towards you, but honestly there's no point of using this variation because you can just use Joker second variation, and it's a much better setup variation, and it pretty much does the same thing, and you pretty much play it kind of very similar. But yeah, and then the second variation is, you know, has more combos. Even though it has more combos, you can get like max, like I say, without fatal blows. Like I think with crushing blow, you catch him in the air. I think it's like you can get like 40% maybe, and then, you know what I'm saying, but like she is a consistent 29-30%. You can get 30. I think you can get like 33% in the corner with her Widow's Kiss. But I mean, she's still a very, you know, weird character. It's a tough character to use. There's so many other better variations that I tell you though, I do love her teleport. Her teleport is very good. And obviously you have to set her up. You know what I'm saying? You have to get her bugs implanted just so she's actually effective and a little bit scary with her grab game. So yeah, I mean, she's still a low tier character. That's why Honeybee is really the only person I really see high level really using her and actually doing something with her. He's probably easily the best Devourer in the game, but I don't know. I love using her, and she's very fun. And obviously, you don't see her a lot, so sometimes matchup wise in like Combat League and casual play, it can give people problems. But if you just watch, you know, higher level, even semi high level, she just can get shut out very easily. And then third variation, we're not even gonna talk about. we don't even need to talk about that variation. So next we have Aaron Black. So Aaron Black. So, you know, if this is your first time tuning into your channel, which I think most people will be, Aaron Black is actually my main, and I enjoy playing with him a lot. And this is another character that a lot of people upplay, and everybody says us Aaron Black, you know, mains, you know, downplay him, but he is not downplayed, man. He is a mid-tier character. Now, some people will say they do downplay him a little bit, saying he's a low tier. I mean, I can debate on that. You know what I'm saying? Like I think he's on like bottom of mid tier. So I can see why people might put him higher in C tier, but you know, one of the worst characters in the game, he's definitely not that, because his 52 card pickup is a very good variation. It's probably one of the better variations, you know, in the games. I wouldn't say top 10, but you know, it's a very strong variation, and obviously his best. I mean, you get Scud Shot to keep yourself safe. Well, it doesn't really keep you safe. It just really just like messes with the opponent mind, so they think you're safe, but you're really not safe at all. Then you have, you know, Outward Gunslinger that gives you a little bit more zoning tools, and then Enhanced Lock and Loaded to give you some really good meterless damage. So then you have Barking Irons, which is a very fun variation to use, but can be kind of tricky to use. It's more, you know, 52 card pickup. You want to, you know, play more spacing game. With Bark Irons, you can play a little bit more aggressive with this with the slide, and once again, you're just going to pretty much want to mix them up. And you know, the TNT toss, I don't think it gets used as much in this variation, but it is definitely a decent setup tool, and not the best, but it is decent. And you know, also you get the command grab. Command grab is always nice. You know what I'm saying, all the time. And then Locked and Loaded. Now this is the variation that needs to be changed. This is what makes him mid tier. So this is the variation. I'm pretty sure Locked and Loaded is the variation that most Aaron Black players would love to use. Even though 52 card pickup probably be his best variation the whole game. I mean, we all just want that setup Aaron Black. And when I first saw Nether Beast Trap be introduced as his third variation, I was very hyped, but I saw how they nerfed it, and it was very bad. I did see a video on how it could be buffed without making it broken, and MK Rio is the person who posted the video. Go check it out. It is honestly, he has some very good ideas for how you can make this variation good and honestly not broken. And honestly, Asset Pour doesn't need to be touched. I think it's honestly fine how it is. But yeah, the Nether Beast Trap, I think, is the only thing that needs to be touched in this variation, and I think that could maybe even bump him more up to mid tier, or even up to top tier. I don't know, you know, depending how they would do it. So yeah, well, I'm pretty much done talking about that. Yeah, I do think he's upplayed a lot because he's a very annoying character. to play against. Even I will say he's annoying to play against, because when I play people who, at that, casual level, is very annoying how they use Aaron Black. But, high level is pretty much easy to take care of him. It's crazy. And that's why you don't see a lot of success in, I don't know. I can't explain it. But I love Aaron Black to death. So, I don't know. We'll go ahead and get into Frost. Frost, I think, is downplayed a lot. And I think she's really downplayed because you don't see her a lot. And I can kind of understand why, because her first two variations might not be as appealing, but her new third variation is insane. And I think she's honestly a top tier character in this game. And I think I don't know why people downplay her so much. But even her, I honestly think her second variation is pretty good too. And her first variation is solid. I particularly would never use it, to be honest. And I use Frost a little bit, not a whole bunch, just a little bit. And I personally like her third variation very, very a lot. The Core Overload, you can set different things up. You get the Ice Auger, which, you can do some pretty decent damage in combos. You have probably one of the best chip out moves in the game by default. And you also get the Ice Quake move, which is really good for like people, I don't know, you can just jump in the air and just use it. It's just crazy. Yeah, I think Frost has a lot of potential, and I don't think she needs to be touched personally, but I think that at some point I think more people will realize how good she is. I don't know why more people don't use her, but you see her every once in a while. We saw in Final Kombat, there was actually a Frost player, and he was pretty good, and he was taking, I think he went up against Sonic Fox, and he actually did a pretty good job. Of course, he lost, but he did a good job against him. So I don't know. I think Frost is definitely downplayed quite a bit. Next we have Geras. So Geras is a tough one because a lot of people take him out of S tier since his latest patch. I think they over nerfed him. I do think that. I think he, like I said, in the last, the last tier list video, like he is gonna be, a very, very good, very, very good character in this game, probably for whole Mortal Kombat. And I don't know. I did think the nerfing his movement, his dash time, up, forward, and backwards was a little much, since now that his wave dashes is terrible now. You pretty much can't do it anymore. It's not really worth doing, more like, and it's crazy because that's what Eternal really counted on, to play that keep away. And now you can still obviously play that keep away. The keep away in internal Geras is still gonna be really good, but I don't know. It was just kind of like damn. That was a big. Like, I honestly was satisfied with the last patch, what they did to Geras. I felt like that was enough, and then they hit him with this. It was kind of crazy. And then also with Quicksand and Sand Trap, I do like it personally, because that does give me a lot of trouble now that he has more recovery frames on it, because it helps you be able to get in more. But still, it was like, damn, that's a big hit to Geras, no cap. Like, that was definitely a big hit to Geras. And I don't know. He might change by the end of the tier list. He might be up in the S tier, but for right now, I'm gonna put him in the top of top tier. Now I see people putting him down in mid tier now, and I see people dropping him. I'm like, damn, bro. Like, Geras is still good in this game. I mean, he still has Eternal. Eternal's still really good. Obviously, it's good for people who actually know how to. It takes some skill to use it. And then you have Infinite Warden, who has brain dead damage still, and very, very good variation to use, and has different tech that you can use that makes him even better. And then you got New Era, which I honestly don't think is the best of variations, but I mean, I'm sure somebody can use it very, very well. And I've been playing somebody recently. I haven't ran any sets with him in a while, but he uses New Era Geras, and he's a pretty good New Era Geras. I'm not gonna lie. Now that I think about it, he gives me trouble sometimes. I'm not gonna lie. He, especially with my Aaron Black. I think Aaron Black matches. I don't know how good Aaron Black matches up against New Era Geras. So yeah, we'll go ahead and move on to the next character who's gotten a lot of attention. I'll say that she's gotten a lot of attention, Jackie, and I don't think people really people was so happy when she got nerfed. Her upgraded got nerfed, but honestly, like upgraded was definitely her best variation. I would say before. Now first round KO is back to being her best variation, and it's always been a very good variation. That's why she's always been S tier. She is so good. She is so good. Like she has all the tools. She has all the tools. She has three very good. She has three good. I say she has two very good variations, and then one, good regular, just regularly good variation. So first round KO is busted still. You got the lethal clinch. You have cybernetic override, and you have the robo grappler. Just her base kit is already just so good, because she can pretty much stay safe on all her strings. I mean, she has a couple strings that's not safe, but you can just do, there's things you can do to keep her safe. She's, probably one of the most safest characters. The only thing with first round KO, she can be zoned out. So, that's where upgraded comes in. And you can't, you can zone her out, because there's obviously counter picks to this upgraded Jackie, especially for her, Baraka in the second variation, Noob Saban. Cetrion could do a pretty good job against upgraded Jackie. We saw, what's his name? Yeah, damn, I don't know. It's 3 o'clock in the morning right now, and I'm having trouble trying to remember his name. But Cetrion, he's probably the best Cetrion in the world. Not easily, but debatably third best, Mortal Kombat player in the world. And he did a pretty good job playing against. I think he ran into a lot of upgraded Jackies in Final Combat. He upgraded Jackie is very, very good. It can that keep away. You can't really play keep away against a smart upgraded Jackie. But now that she did get that nerf, she is a little bit limited since she spends a lot of that defensive bar on trying to stay safe and and try to make up room, try to get into people who's trying to play keep away. But it's still a very, very good variation that gets good, very, very good damage. Then you got next gen, which does that damage over time with the grenade launcher. You got the air dive bomb, which is not used a lot, but I think it's a very good move. And then you got the tech dome, so you take less chip damage, which is good, very good move that I think is very underrated. So yeah, I think Jackie's the best character in the game right now, honestly. Ever since Johnny I thought was the best character before, and after his nerfs, which we will talk about, I think he's the second best character now. So next we have Jade. So Jade, I think, is a mid-tier character. She did get nerfed though. I think she's I don't think she's better than Aaron Black. I'm gonna be honest. I think a lot of people upplay Jade once again because she's very annoying. Because I don't know why. She is very annoying because she annoys me all the time. Like I said, she's a very annoying character, but just because they're annoying doesn't mean they're very good. So her second variation, I probably would say was her. Well, actually, I probably let's be honest. Emerald Defender is probably her best variation, but it's also her most annoying variation. I think that's why it's considered kind of the best variation. But Jaded is probably when you go into face a good Jade, most likely they're going to be using Jaded. And I see a lot of people now going towards Untamable since her latest nerf, because that amplified Blazing Nitro kick, even though I don't know if it was purposely done or if it was a glitch, but you can pretty much it's just it's so much worse that I see a lot of people not use Jaded anymore and using Untamable because they don't want to be, because they don't want to use Emerald Defender because Emerald Defender has that tag on it that you're just a bum Jade that just upcuts a lot, and most Jade players don't want to have that title, and what I'm saying, even though I do think Emerald Defender is her best variation, but hey, I don't blame them because I wouldn't want that title either. And yeah, Untamable is still a pretty good variation. Gets Vanishing Winds, has a little bit mix up. Divine Forces reflects projectiles, and you can actually combo with it as well. And then Deadly Assassin gives you some pretty decent strings. And then Jaded is a mix up pressure. I think it gets more pressure than people give it credit. But obviously the amplified Blazing Nitro kick is now kind of bad now because of the latest nerf on her, even though I don't think it was a purposeful nerf. She really was supposed to be buffed, but she just really caught a low-key nerf and kind of made her that Jaded variation kind of worse. But what can you do? I don't feel too sorry since I hate Jade, but That's just more because she's annoying. Once again, not because she's super good. Next we have Jax. This is another character I feel like people downplay for some reason. I honestly think he's S tier still. I don't know why. At least see a lot of people. I mean, don't get me wrong. People say he's top tier. He's a top tier character, but I don't know why. I just feel like he's S tier. I think once again, he gives me a lot of problems. He does give me a lot of problems. I feel like he gives a lot of other people problems too. Now, I will say this: the latest with the 5-frame, the 5-frame event, you can, you have 5 frames to punish now. It does help because you now can actually punish him correctly, because like before it was like Jax players could just press buttons all day long and it did not matter, but now it's kind of like you can punish him properly now he does in the second variation, Hunker Down. He has that command grab. He has Burning Hammer. I wouldn't say Burning Hammer is too crazy, but it's still a good move, and but he has that command grab. That command grab is a beast. He has Expert Grappler, which gives him strings that have that can do crazy crushing blow damage. And then you have the third version. I think is solid. I don't think it gets enough credit. You get the ground pound, and actually can launch an opponent. And then you get the lethal clap, which does replace gotcha grab, which is kind of big. But you do get clap, which can extend combos. That's kind of strict, but you can do it, and you deal more heat damage. And enhanced outranked, which gives you some strings that are actually pretty good, especially for chip. And then the first variation, you get Duck and Weave, Bridge Brigade, and Ripped. It destroys projectiles and also generates heat for you. Then you get Ripped, which is kind of a low key, kind of not that. I'd say second variation is so damn good, but I don't know. Actually, I'm being biased. I'll put Jax. I think he's better than Geras though. I think he's better than Geras now, but Jax is so damn good. I honestly, personally, just want him to put S tier, but once again, I think it's just more because he's annoying for me, more than I think he deserves it. So I'm just gonna put him A tier, for now, and yeah. I'm trying to think. Okay, yeah, we're gonna do that. Next we have Johnny Cage. Johnny Cage, obviously a character who I need to address because he definitely had a lot of changes in the last patch. So Shock Jock, we don't need to talk about that. I mean, obviously it's good because Johnny Cage has a very, very good base kit, but it's not a variation I personally would use. I don't see why anyone would use. I played against people who used it and actually beat me, and I was just shook completely. But it's more because of his base kit, less because they are actually using the tools it gives you. So let's talk about the two variations that are really good: Showstopper and Outtake. So before, I used to actually use Johnny Cage quite a bit, and I used to use Outtake. Obviously, there's a little phase I had where I didn't drop Aaron Black, but I was just like so fed up with playing so many damn Outtake Johnnies. I was like, fuck it, I'm picking up Outtake Johnny, and I started playing Outtake Johnny. Now I would actually prefer Showstopper now because of his latest nerf to his Rising Star, which I feel like the force balls were a problem when that other patch, but I don't think it was as big of a problem as Rising Star. Like Rising Star is a busted ass move. Like that move was so busted. Now it's normalized. I would say Johnny Cage before, I think Jackie was busted. Johnny Cage wasn't busted, but Rising Star was broken as fuck. And Rising Star, like, you can do so much. You can still do so much tech with it, but you actually have to, spend resources. Before, you really didn't spend resources except for your offensive bar, which was not honestly too big of a deal. Your defensive bar is way more valuable than your offensive bar. If you play high level, or you play even honestly Combat League, it's way more valuable. Higher ranked Combat League, and yeah, I mean, Outtake still is a very good variation, but like I said, I think Showstopper is a bit better now because you still get those plus frames. I mean, honestly, Johnny Cage has plus frames in his base kit. I mean, in Outtake too, just in his strings, but with the force balls, He gets that pressure with the plus frames. You get the throwing shades, which gives you that comeback factor with the crushing blow that you get for on the cooldown for Johnny Cage. Fatal blow cancel, and you also get say cheese, which you can do hella damage with. You know what I'm saying? Very good. Stuns the opponent and replaces Nut Punch, but like I said, it's pretty much the same as Nut Punch, to be honest. But I think you can do a little bit more damage. But yeah, it's like Outtake is still gonna be very good. More for people who like the zone. If you want to put that pressure on them, though, you definitely want to go Showstopper. And still a very good character. And I even put him up where he should be. I think Johnny Cage is firmly second best character in the game now. You could probably debate with me and get me to say Cetrion's better, but I do think Johnny Cage is I think he's better than Cetrion. Not better than Jackie though. So yeah, next we have Cabal. So Cabal, I think, is downplayed quite a bit, to be honest. But at the same time, I can understand why people drop him, and he's real. I think matchup, he's a kind of a matchup character. I do think he's I think he's hot. I think he's I'm gonna put him mid tier, but I think he's like best. Like he might be the best within mid tier. He's borderline top tier to me, and in Mean Streak. We'll start out with Mean Streak. You get the mix-ups with the rolling buzzsaw and straight buzzing, and you get the dash cancels. So you have mix-ups. You have zoning, pretty good zoning. Annoying can be kind of annoying, but annoying doesn't mean you're very good. But yeah. Next we have Clean Cut. Clean Cut, you get that restand. Once again, like I said, personally, if you want a good restand character, I wouldn't go with Cabal. I would rather go with Cassie, but you do have that option here because you do get a mix up with low hook grab, but it's pretty easily fuzzied. So it's honestly kind of it's decent. Wait, no, is it low hook grab or low spinner? That's okay. I think low hook grab can be fuzzied, but it's not as easy as a move we'll talk about a little bit later. Then you get no bad spin, which you quickly spin in place. I don't really. I don't really use Clean Cut personally because I'm not like the biggest fans of restands. I mean, like I like restands obviously, but it's not something I really need in a character. I know a lot of people love and need to have that parry. I just said parry, restand. But next is the spins, and this is like the damage variation. You get the low spinner, which is very easily fuzzied, but sometimes you can catch people off guard with it. Then you get the hook grab, which gets you that extra damage, and then gas blast, which I think might stand it might be a restand. Low key, I can't remember, but it doesn't have very much range, like in extended hook. So yeah, I think Cabal is pretty good, and I think he's in a good place in the game. I think he could get a little bit of changes, but I'm honestly not sure exactly what changes he could get. Maybe some Cabal mains can let me know. I don't know in the comment section. Next we have Kano. So Kano is actually, I haven't used Kano in a long time, and he's like, I wouldn't consider him a main anymore, but he's definitely within the squad. You know what I'm saying? He's in the squad. He's someone who I play quite a bit. I personally like the dirtbag variation, but I think Kano's in a good spot in this game. I think he's downplayed quite a bit. I think he's really downplayed. I honestly think I probably put him mid tier, but I think he's better than Cabal. I can honestly even put him. I'm going to put him top tier because I do think Kano is a top tier character. I think people downplay him, and I think sometimes even some of the people who main him kind of downplay him a little bit. But I think who doesn't want to downplay their main? But first we'll talk about Dirtbag. Dirtbag is more of a setup. It has very good, very good setups, and I think when you watch a really good Dirtbag Kano, he's so entertaining to watch. Like Biohazard. Wait, no, does Biohazard use? I don't think he uses Dirt. I think he uses Ripper. Sonic Fox has a very nasty Dirtbag Kano. There's another guy out there that I cannot remember his name. He plays usually in like NCL, which is like Nick Obsolete. Oh my god. Damn, he uses Dirtbag. I cannot remember his name right now. I cannot remember his name, but he's it's so fun watching him play and use Dirtbag Kano. And RAPiiD I think is honestly a really downplayed variation too. I mean, you get Optic Blast, which is a very good projectile. I mean, you duck down low and some mid. Snake Bite, which you get combos. But Ripper is, I probably say, his best variation. But Dirtbag is personally my favorite, and I think it's a very, very good variation too. And RAPiiD's probably his worst, but I think it's still very good. I think he has 3 good variations. I think it's matchup. I don't know. Now that I think about it, like RAPiiD is like, I guess why would you use it over Ripper? But I don't know. Next we have Katana. Katana got a lot of changes in the last patch, and I think I talked about it quite a bit in the video, the patch video I made. But I'll talk about it a little bit now too. I think Katana. First of all, I think the Katana. I mean, I can understand why the Katana, community downplayed her for such a long time. But let's be honest here, she's had a good variation the whole game, but just it's so lame to play. So Katana, I think, is a mid-tier character now. I think she's top of mid. Well, I really say she's better than. Yeah, I say she's better than Cabal now. So Highborn is like, it's up there in variations. Like, it's probably one of the better variations in the game. I mean, it is just literally. I think I'm not Katana main. I'm not within the Katana community or anything like that. But the Katana community is a very passionate community, and I can understand why they did not want to use. They wanted to use Fanfare really, and Fearless is also pretty traditional Katana too. But Fanfare is like that traditional Katana people was looking for. But her damage was so bad before. It was like, damn, like you was doing so much work just to get 24%, like 25%. Like it was so bad. I was like, damn, man. Like I remember when I used Katana for the first time, I was like, damn, she gets no damage at all. But then you get Highborn, which doesn't get that much damage, but her pressure, she has pressure with this variation. Really good zoning with that that stance. That stance is insane. That stance is crazy. You know what I'm saying? This just makes you really just messes with your mind. I think it's plus on one of the moves. I can't remember which one it is. The one she tosses up in the air, I think, is plus on block. And then Radiant Razors, oh my gosh, it can just give you so much problems. This variation is so good, especially if you play really good Highborn Katana. Like, good God, I mean, it's gonna be trouble. I don't know if I'll post the Jackie video because it was kind of a salty video, but that in the Jackie video I played against a good Highborn Katana, and it was just so lame to play. But it's good. It was a good Katana. It wasn't like he wasn't good. It's just lame as hell to play against and to play with. To be honest, I've used Highborn Katana on the channel, and like I said, it's just a boring variation to use. Fanfare is a very, very fun variation to use, and now is actually good since you can get so much more damage, and then with the World Protection, it gives you so much buff now. It's insane, and yeah, she is actually a viable variation now. I don't think it was terrible before. It just didn't get damage, and that's all it needed. And now that it has it, it's a pretty good variation. And I think she still has probably the worst wake up in the game. I don't know what's up with her wake up. Was it 1? Wake up 1, 2, or wake up 2? No. So her wake up 3. That's what it is. Her wake up 3 is literally might be the worst in the game. Like, I'm not even gonna lie. Hers and fucking Sonya's is terrible. But yeah, that shit is terrible. That probably needs to be changed. The hit region on that needs to be changed. But other than that, I think Katana's in a pretty good place right now. I don't think we need MKX Katana, even though I didn't really play MKX. I heard about MKX Katana, and I've watched YouTube videos on MKX Katana. Just insane. So we'll go ahead and move on to Collector, I think, is another character who's fucking downplayed. Okay, so Collector, I see people put in low tier. I see people put, well, I think he's a mid tier character, but I think I be seeing people put him like worse than Aaron Black. He is not worse than Aaron Black. Honestly, you can debatably he is a top tier character, but I think it's just because he is fuzzy. His mix-ups are fuzzyable, but he has 2 variations are good, and one variation is like, I personally just, why would you use it? But you can use it if you wanted to. So you got Back in the Pack, which has the up demonic mace, which can hit you can pretty much hit people who's jumping a lot. It's a pretty decent anti-air special move. I probably wouldn't use it too much. I probably wouldn't use that as his anti-air because I think he does have a better anti-air. I just can't remember what it's called. But definitely is a good special move to anti-air some people, especially like Kung Lao, once again, or, upgrade Jackie Briggs. And then you also have the command grab. His command grab, I think, is probably one of the best command grabs in the game. I don't think it's the best, which we'll get to soon, but I do think it's a very, very good command grab. And then his base toolkit is honestly insane. I mean, he has the Bola, which is a very, very good move, and you can get so much damn damage from him. He has a very good setup, which is also like something that you like to use in the neutral a lot, and you can poke at the person, and then if they end up getting hit, if you hit confirm into it, you get some decent damage. And then if you actually get him with the Bola, you get some very good jump damage with the jump in combo, and yeah, it's just he's just really good. And you also have the teleport, which is also really good, which I'm surprised they didn't make it so you have to spend a defensive bar, but like they did it with Scarlet and Cetrion. But I guess since he's not really a zoner, I guess they let it slide. Then you got Spare Change, which you do lose out on the command grab and the teleport, but you do get damage over time with the Vial of Soros, which is absolutely insane. I mean, it's an insane, like, you can get so much damage over time. It's a very fun variation to use. I like to use it sometime on the occasion. And Collector is another one of those characters who's in my package. I wouldn't consider a main, but I do love to use it on occasions. And yeah, I think he's a very good character. I think he's very downplayed. But yeah, I think people are starting to get more awakened by him, for sure. Next, we have Kotal Khan. So Kotal Khan, personally, I don't know. I've talked to some, Kotal mains, and I've seen people still say he's just a mid-tier character. But, then there's some Kotal mains who actually, agree with me, and I think he is a top-tier character. I think he's a top-tier character now. I think he's in a very, very, very good place. I think he's... do I think he's better than Baraka? That command grab is just dirty. I'm gonna say no. But let me know. I know there's a lot of Kotal mains out there. Let me know how he is in that matchup. Cause I'm no Kotal main. I use Kotal every once in a while, but I'm definitely no Kotal main. But Kotal is very good in this game. I mean, I think he has two very. I'm not gonna say very good. I think he has two good variations, and he has a variation that's very matchup. Is good on different matchups. So Ascension is that you get a lot of damage with. You got Canon Cut as a combo extender for pretty much any time you hit confirm into it. Then you have his command grab, which is probably I think is the best command grab because it buffs your damage. It's very, very simple inputs, and yeah, and you get God Ray, which is a very good for closing out rounds and can heal you and give damage over time. Yeah, it's just a very good variation. I mean, you can try to zone out Kotal, but against somebody who's really good at like ducking projectiles, if they know how to wave dash, man, you can forget about it. I mean, they're closing space with it. They're closing space in like 2 frames. Let's be honest. And then you got Bullock, which is a very, very good variation. You get those totems. Kotal has a pretty solid base kit, so you can afford to lose out. I personally like Ascension the best, but Bullock is a very good variation too because you can get very easy damage with when you set up the totems, or take less damage. Then you also get the Grand Discus, which I think can keep you safe now since it modifies the you can't. I don't know. I'm not going to try to say that. Then you got the Totemic, which has the Techne Maul, and you have the Totem with that as well that heals Kotal and absorbs the opponent's blood as well. And you got Air Techno Pounce. I'm pretty sure I'm pronouncing that wrong, but hey, freak it. So with the Techno Maul, you can actually enhance it, so you can actually you get armor, so you can go through pretty much projectiles. So pretty much I think if you use Totemic, it's going to be against Ace of Nays Joker. I think it matches up well against that variation. I think it matches up well against also his first Joker's first variation. I think it matches up better. Not necessarily maybe wins, but definitely better. At least 5/5. Let's see who else. I think Spawn, third variation. I think it does a very good job against that variation. Also, I think it does very good against pretty much most zoners like Cetrion. I think it does a decent job against Cetrion. I think it does. I think it matches up better with also Geras. I think it does a pretty decent job on Geras as well, and Shang Tsung. So I think I that's what I personally like. What I've seen from high level play. That's what I've seen counter picking from that note. But like I said, I'm not a Kotal Khan main, so maybe correct me in the comment section. You know what I'm saying? But I think it is matchup specific, and sometimes different matchups that give Kotal problems. I think can sometimes the second variation can sometimes help with that problem. So next we have a character who I actually got into a debate with in this Discord I'm in, which is Kung Lao. So people was putting Kung Lao in S tier. Like, are you crazy? No, look. This is why I said what I said at the beginning. Kung Lao is annoying as fuck. He's probably one of the most annoying characters in the game. I mean, like, he has a good down two. He has that jumping attack that is just so very good. He has a teleport which is good, people I think at what I'm saying, casual level, average level, it gives them problems, but personally I just jump every time or just poke at it, and usually I can do a decent job at guarding up against it. And honestly, the really good Kung Lao really don't even use that teleport too much. And I'm not gonna say Kung Lao has that potential to be a very, very good character in this game, but he's just not. And he's the prime example of just because a character is super annoying in the game doesn't mean he's super good in the game. Now, I'm not saying Kung Lao is trash. I know some people might say he's trash, but I don't think he's trash. I do think he's a mid-tier character. I think he's a solid character. I'd probably say he's probably around here. Yeah, I'd probably say Cabal's better, to be honest. Okay, so third variation, that's trash. Third variation is trash. Honestly, I don't think there's a point of using it. Like the spiritual guidance, that stance, I don't see a point of using it. I guess you can zone a little bit with it, but I don't think it's very useful. Then you got Vortex, which it's just terrible move. You would think it can anti-air. It cannot anti-air. It's pretty much, it replaces spin, which is probably way better than Vortex. So I don't honestly see a point of using it. So pretty much Lotus Fist and Hat Tricks are like the variations most people use. I see in the casual casual matches, competitive, I usually see air teleport. I mean, I say air teleport. I mean Hat Tricks because of the air teleport. But also you get the Z hat, and then you get the guided hat, which I do think guided hat is a very slept on move. Like that is probably one of the cheapest projectiles in the game. You can modify how where you want the hat to hit. You know what I'm saying? I think that's crazy. But then you have the Lotus Fist, which is a very good variation because you get the I say very good, but I mean it's I probably say it's his best variations since it can keep him safe. His base toolkit is pretty much what you're going to use him. I think the Lotus Fist is pretty much a really good option since you have that orbiting hat, which can have the hat orbit around you, and it does a pretty decent job at pretty much what you want to do. Okay, so pretty much what I want to explain exactly why he's mid tier. This character has so much potential, and it could be very, 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 very good in the game. It's scary how good this character could be in the game. But he does not have, his frames are complete garbage. Like, yes, he has that I think it's a 9. I think he has a 9 frame mid, which every top tier character you'll see has a fast mid that's also safe. He has that. No, he doesn't have that. I'm sorry, it's not safe. But if it was safe, he'd be scary. That is his problem. He's a very unsafe character. Most of his strings for the most part are unsafe, and the ones that are safe, there's a gap in it, so it can be punished. There's, and there's so many strings that he has gaps in that I think some people don't even punish, but they should be punishing him. And Kung Lao used to give me so much trouble when I still consider myself an average player, but when I was first starting, because this is the first Mortal Kombat I've ever played. Well, that's not the first. That's a lie. But I used to play it when I was a little kid, but I used to get destroyed, so I just quit playing it altogether until MK11. I did watch MKX, but I just didn't buy it. I was I was leaning towards it, and I just didn't do it ever. And so then I bought MK11 when it came out. Such a fun game. I do like MK11 a lot, and it used to get, but I'm getting off topic. But Kung Lao used to give me so much trouble at the beginning, and then I just sat there. I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna go in the lab, and I'm gonna just train myself to defend everything Kung Lao gives me problems with. And then I asked somebody who I played against, this Kung Lao, who I don't think was that good, but he was very annoying, and I added him. And I don't know if you ever watched this video, but yeah, I pretty much added him just so I can train myself against Kung Lao, and I do such a better job playing against Kung Laos now. And obviously a really good Kung Lao can still give you problems, and it's very annoying to fight, but I know what I have to do to fight him. And yeah, so I think when you learn the matchup, you can do a good job against Kung Lao. He's annoying, but he's very, very easily manageably taken care of. So yeah, next we'll go ahead and get into Liu Kang. Liu Kang. I think Liu Kang is the second best character in the game now. I think he was before, but I think Johnny Cage is not better than Liu Kang anymore. From the last nerf, I think he obviously his second variation gives that pressure, but I think Liu Kang has more pressure. I think also the simplicity of the character is very good. I think he is a character who I think is a perfect character for being best in the game. I think he's, for people who are average to low, I think people who main Liu Kang are kind of carried. And that's a kind of like a term that's kind of used negative. I don't think it's a negative thing, because Liu Kang, I think they purposely made Liu Kang like that because he can pretty much make a average player look like a high level player. I think if I picked up Liu Kang today and actually labbed him and learned his inside and out, I think I could be very, very good. But I personally don't use Liu Kang personally, just because I think he's a little bit boring to use, but that's just my personal opinion. I think I like to use him every once. He's a character I like to use every once in a while, but that's just how I am. And he doesn't really fit how I like to play it. But I mean, actually, it kind of does, because I do enjoy putting pressure on the opponent. But I don't know. So what makes Liu Kang good? So before, it was really his forward 4, and even lower level is still his forward 4. But what makes him really good in this game is truly his back 2. That back 2 pressure is nothing to joke about. You know what I'm saying? You can do back 2, hick affirm into 2-4, and go into some combos. He gets also very, very easy damage. Even his hardest combos are, with practice, you can easily get those down. And then his easier combos, you don't even really have to practice that much, and you can easily get those down too. You just have to know them, and when you know them, you can get them. I can honestly just go into Liu Kang without even practicing and just get his combos kind of easily 30%, 27 to 34% easily, without even crushing blows. And yeah, I think he just plays his game very well. He's a very, very good character. So his first variation has that low fireball, get that mix up, get the stance, can confuse the opponent with a little bit of mix. Obviously, it's fuzzy. Everything he does is fuzzyable, can be fuzzied, but it's kind of not fuzzy. It's a mind game with them. Personally, I don't throw the parry out too much, but some people do it a lot. Second variation I think is the worst variation personally, but can be very annoying, especially people who just love to spam Dragon's Gift. I mean, that shit is hella annoying. But once again, kind of once you learn how to take care of it, you kind of just it doesn't give you as much of a problem. Dragon's Breath, which I think is a variation that a lot of people are starting to use more, especially since they've seen Ninja Killer use it at the highest level, and he has a very good command grab. You get the Shaolin vanished, so you gain access to the teleport still, and you get the nunchuck stance, which I think can keep you safe. Don't quote me on that, but I mean he can stay safe anyway. You know what I'm saying? His base. Liu Kang probably has one of the best base kits in the game. That's what makes him very good. And I just also want to say, high level people, they don't get carried. Like, I don't think he really gets carried by high level people. I think to use him high level, you pretty much have to know how to wave dash, and that's something that not a lot of average players know how to do it. I a little bit know how to do it, but not the best at it. But yeah, I think Liu Kang is a very good character in this game. I think he's a very good, like, anyone who comes in the game as a beginner, I definitely think Liu Kang's the best character to pick up because he's probably one of the easiest characters to pick up in the game. Who's also one of the best characters in the game. So yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say about Liu Kang. Yeah, we'll go ahead and move on to Nightwolf. So Nightwolf is I consider my third main. This is pretty much the character I'm pretty much when I compete in small tournaments. No, I obviously don't compete in no crazy tournaments. I compete in some small tournaments, and this is pretty much when I'm sweating really hard. This is going to be one of the characters. There's two characters I'm going to be using when I'm sweating really hard, and then also I have my actual mains. I consider Devora and Aaron my mains. Like they're my favorite characters. Those are my two favorite characters to use. I have the most fun with. But when I'm sweating, when I'm like, yeah, money on the line, I have two characters who I'm going to start going to now because it's just Aaron and Devore just not doing it for me anymore. So Nightwolf is a very, very good character. I probably say Nightwolf is easily top tier character to me. I think he's not as good as Cassie. I think he's a bit better than Baraka. Something that Baraka has though is something that Nightwolf lacks, and we'll talk about that a little bit. But pretty much, Nightwolf is a mix. He's kind of similar to Sub-Zero in how his mix is, even though his mix is very reactable. It's still you kind of train your opponent to punish him, and then also he gets very good damage. He gets good meterless damage, but his meterless damage combos in the corner especially is can be very tough. It definitely takes a lot of practice, and I've been trying to get down a lot lately. And he does get some pretty damn good damage, and he's very, very, very. He has good ways to kind of. He doesn't really have plus frames. He does have some moves that are plus, but most of them. He's pretty much like a stagger type of guy. I mean, he puts a little bit of pressure on your opponent, but it's not that crazy pressure like Jackie, Liu Kang, Johnny, Jax, like not pressure like them, but he still does some pretty solid pressure. Has really good staggers, really good for whiff punishing and just mixing up the opponent with good damage. And he has a reflect, so you can select few some projectiles. Not a lot of projectiles in the game. Not every projectile in the game or anything like that, but he can reflect a lot of projectiles back at opponents, and he does have a pretty decent projectile as well. Then you have his second variation with the Ancestral Gift. Personally, I don't use Ancestral Gift. I pretty much when I use them, I'm going to be using mainly Motoka Warrior. But Ancestral Gifts, you do get access to that command grab. You get Moonlight Reflector, which gives you a teleport if you enhance the Reflect. Then you get Grappling Stalker, which gives you some a little bit more mix up, and then with more damage. So it is a very good variation. I think, and I've played some people who gave me a tough time with Ancestral Gift. And then you also have Shaman. I think Shaman is actually downplayed quite a bit. First of all, Lightning Arrow is very good. Probably one of the better projectiles in the game. It hits mid. it does obviously replace Arrow, but also it's going to be one probably it's really your main combo ender as well. You still since you don't have your charge anymore. So you also get Spirit Tracks, which is a very good move. It does replace Rhino Charge, but it's pretty much a low, and you can use it for mix. Obviously, it's fuzzable, but once again, he's going to be the type of character you're going to want to train your opponent. And I honestly really do love training your opponent, like training my opponent to, block where I want them to block and reading them. I think it's very fun. It's one of the reasons I like Aaron Black as well. And you also have Ancestral Hunter, which you amplify it to turn it into a launcher, which is just with different, like I said, when you're training your opponent, you get things like Ancestral Hunter to get some pretty decent damage in combos. Obviously, you don't get as much damage as Matoka Warrior, but you do get some pretty solid damage. And if I did use another different variation, it would be Shaman. But like I said, Matoka Warrior is pretty much going to be the variation I pretty much only use when I use Nightwolf at a serious level. So yeah, we'll go ahead and move on to Noob Saban. Noob Saban is another character who I feel like is downplayed quite a bit. I do think he is more of a mid-tier character, and now that I'm seeing how many characters I have left, no, I think that's good. I think top tier should be good. I'm kind of feeling moving Kano down, though. I'm not gonna lie. But yeah, Noob Saban is a very, very good character. I think what makes him good is he's more of a matchup nightmare for you. So he counters a lot of some of the best characters in the game. So seeing double, we'll start off first, and you get the slide, which keeps you safe. The air teleslam, which personally, if you're using noob, I see a lot of people doing this at the the level I play at. Don't use that teleport too much. It's such an easy read. The only thing you have to do is duck it, and then you can pretty much punish that with anything in the game. You get a Ghost Ball. Don't use Ghost Ball too much. Even though it is an unblockable projectile, it's so easy to duck. You just literally duck it every time. I mean, it's so easy. Even close range, you can just duck it with ease. I probably say this variation gives me the least trouble because I personally think that Aaron Black matches up decently against it. I think you can play pretty decent keep away and do a pretty good job against this variation. Then you have Dark Sabbath, which I actually think gives Aaron Black a little bit more trouble. And also seeing double I think is good against Jackie. And wait, is it? Yeah, I think it's seeing double. I think in general, I think Noob Saban matches up against a lot of the top tier characters like Jackie, Johnny, Lou, and yeah, I think he matches up pretty well against them. Second, Dark Sabbath I'd probably say is his second best variation. You do get the shadow ports, which pretty much modifies your teleport slam, so you can actually do combos after it. Then you also get Spirit Ball, which is definitely I'd say better than Ghost Ball, but still not the best of projectiles. I think this variation still can get kind of zoned out. And then Air Sickle Port, which I don't really use too much, to be honest. And then you have the third variation, which you can get some pretty sick damage with, but you don't really see it too much. And I can honestly understand why, but yeah. Seeing double is pretty much the variation you're gonna see the most. And I think, even though I said what makes Noob Saban a mid-tier character of his lack of a reliable mid. I mean, he has a mid, but it's kind of slow, not the best for trying to punish. Because pretty much you want to have a good mid to punish with, and he just doesn't have that. And most of his strings are going to be highs, which obviously get ducked. His best strings, at least, most of his best strings are highs, so you want to play him at more of a neutral, area. But he does have a little bit of staggers and can mix. He doesn't really have a mix. He doesn't really have a mix like unfuzzyable mix, but he does have a little bit of mix. But sometimes it can be easy to take block, but with the slide and seeing double, it does keep you safe. So I do think it's a very good I do think Noob is very downplayed. Some people I think he's like a low tier, bottom, mid tier, but I think he's more of an upper mid tier, to be honest. And I think he's very good for matching up against some of the upper tier characters in matchup specific. situations. Next we have Raiden. So Raiden, I think, is a C tier. I think definitely Raiden is a low tier character. I think some people kind of upplay him, and even though this is like one of the cases, I don't know if it's annoying to everybody, but personally, Raiden gives me a little trouble, especially when I play against a good Raiden. I played against this Raiden not too long ago. I think it was like a week ago, and he was using Thunder Wave, and it really wasn't Storm Cell, because Storm Cell is probably one of the easy ways. Was it Storm Cell or it's Storm Cell, because if you don't know, that last hit you can actually duck and you can just go in for a punish. But like, he was mixing me up so much with his Spark Port. I was like, yo, what the fuck? I never even seen somebody use Raiden like this. Like, the way he was using Spark Port was just insane. I was just like, yo, what the fuck? I didn't know what to do with him, honestly. And obviously his best variation is Raiden. He doesn't really have a really good base kit, but when he uses that quick charge, he can pretty much punish you anytime he wants. He gets access to combo extender. So yeah, he becomes very, very good when he uses quick charge. But when you're not using quick charge, he's pretty much back to one of the worst characters in the game. Sadly, obviously he still is usable. You can still use Raiden, but yeah, damn, I need something to drink. Throat is really killing me talking all this a whole bunch. But yeah, Raiden's a beast. I was gonna say Raiden's a beast. Raiden, he is a beast, but he's just not a very good beast. I definitely think he needs to be buffed. He just, I don't know how to put it. And then to play Raiden good, you have to play so lame. So I think not a lot of people use him, but I don't know. It's just, Raiden needs to be buffed, man. Raiden definitely has to be buffed. Like I said, he's annoying to me, but I definitely see how, why people you don't see him. You just don't see him at high level. And I do think he can give you a problem if you, more at the average casual level, because he gives me problems, you know what I'm saying? But I definitely think Raiden needs buffs when watching more of the higher level people play. So next we have Scorpion. Scorpion, I think, is a mid tier. I say I put him right there. I don't think he's better than Cabal. Actually, I'll just say he's better than Cabal. So yeah, I'd probably say. Okay, so I think Scorpion is one of those characters who I think is upplayed and downplayed at the same time. So different people upplay and downplay him. At the end of the day, I think he's a very good character for beginners, and I think he's a character who can be kind of easy to pick up for the average and low level. But when you go into higher level, he's kind of lame when you think about it. But he's kind of fun at the same time. So he has two variations that I think are good, and one variation I think is pretty bad. I'm not gonna lie, but I've seen some pretty good Burning Spectre, Scorpions. But so Reborn, you get the cancels. Do a lot of different mix with them with those cancels. You just to make pretty much you want to mess with your opponent's mind in that variation, and you also get the Demon Slam, which I don't really see too much, but I do see that Heliport cancel get used a lot. Obviously, Scorpion had a lot. His teleport was way better, before he got patched. But I did quite enjoy the patch nerf it got, but I don't think it was necessarily really deserved. To be honest, I think it was just more because how annoying it was. And this was one of the characters who's very annoying to play against, but at the same time, even though he's so annoying, at the end of the day, he's not, an S tier or A tier, top tier character, in my opinion, at least. So yeah, I think the only thing you have to really do is duck, when he's out of range. So if you duck, you don't have to worry about his teleport, because the first hit whiffs, and then you can just block his second hit, and it's so bad on block, you can literally punish it with anything in the game, pretty much. And then what I'm saying, you can just duck his spear, which is easier said than done, because I get hit by that shit all the time. Damn, how long have we been recording? It's been a little bit over an hour. Good God. And we're not even done yet. We got to speed it up a little bit. But next we have Searing Range, which is a pretty good variation. That's my personal variation what I like to use. He has very, very good chip damage on this variation. Has Burning Spear, which gives you extra damage off of grab, especially for like grabs, and even more chip out damage. And then you get the Death Spear combo, which gives you a little bit more damage in those combos that when you're not using the Crushing Blow in the 2-1 string. So yeah, that's pretty much Scorpion. If you want me to get into a little bit more detail, I could explain it in the comment section, or you can make a video about it. Cause next we have Shang Tsung. So Shang Tsung, I think, is a top tier character. I think he is about right there. I think he definitely is a top tier character. I think he can be considered kind of lame in this game, but honestly, I don't mind watching him. He's honestly, to me, is a pretty dope character to watch. So his first variation, I think, is his best variation. You get the ground eruptions, very good for punishing your opponent. Decent combos, very good at zoning. This is a variation you consider kind of lame to watch, and I think it's personally fun to play. I don't know why, but I have fun playing Shang Tsung sometimes, and also it gives me kind of trouble too, especially like when you put a low in the middle of a string, a low or overhead, it just gives casuals problems no matter what. You know what I'm saying? It's just how it is. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, high level, not much of it as a problem, but still, Warlock is a very good variation high level too. Spellmaster I think is a good variation since it keeps you safe with that crap with the Crushing Flames, keeps you safe. I think it's very good off a chip. I think it's better than I know, but I do think it's his worst variation, but that's just personal. Soul Eater, ninja variation, very fun to use, very fun to watch. I think it's very matchup specific. Does a very good job against Aaron Black. Also does a very good job against Sub-Zero. You can counter those slides with the Force Lift. Very good. Probably one of the best moves in the game with that projectile. With his projectile parry, and also can be enhanced parry regular attacks as well. So yeah, I think it's a very, very good variation. I think it's a very downplayed variation. I think people say it's trash, but I don't think it's really that trash, to be honest, but that's just me. Next, we have Shao Kahn. So Shao Kahn, I think, is probably the worst character in the game right now, sadly. I think pretty much most people can agree, and it's kind of weird how he's not being buffed since he's been so pretty much the same pretty much all throughout the game. I think he's had some touches, but I mean, just not major ones. So first variation is not really that good because reticule is very, very hard to get put out there, because even though like pretty much everything, because the startup is so bad, anything you do, you're pretty much unsafe and can be punished for using it, even off a knockdown. Ground Shatter, which so Ground Shatter is broken and not in a bad way. So Ground Shatter is actually a restand, can actually restand the opponent, but when you restand the opponent, it is actually negative on block. I mean, when you restand the opponent, is negative on hit, which is terrible. I don't know what the hell they were thinking with that. Maybe it was a glitch, but you would think they fixed it because a lot of people complain about it. Alright, so Rising Emperor, which is the variation you pretty much see the most. Dark Priest, you can buff damage. Don't really get the best of opportunities, but it's definitely a lot. Dark Priest is a lot better than Ridicule. Annihilation, which you're going to see a lot within combos, and then Up Wrath Hammer, which is good for keeping yourself safe and keep making the opponent pretty much not punish you. So the problem with Shao Kahn. So Shao Kahn. So his best mid, or his best, I think it's actually a low, but it's pretty much what you're going to punish with. It's just actually really good. It has good frames and stuff. The only problem is it has a gap, and a bad one too, a bad flawless gap, like a really, really easy flawless gap. Then the rest of his best strings are highs and can just be ducked. So yeah, that's pretty much a wrap for him. So next we have Scarlet. Scarlet, I think, is another one of those characters who needs to be touched quite a bit. I think she's better than Raiden and Shao, but I don't think she's better than Devora. I was actually surprised to see she got nerfed, but I think it was kind of deserved. She did kind of deserve to be that teleport to be nerfed because it was insane. Her teleport was insane. but at the same time, it's like, damn, she's so bad, she really needs to be buffed. Her first variation, I think, is kind of downplayed since it's going to be her best zoning variation. I think her third variation is also downplayed because it actually can get some pretty decent damage with boiling point, and while still being able to zone a little bit. But I do think this character still needs help. Second variation is kind of pretty much useless. Yeah, so Scarlet, one of the characters you see probably the least in the game, and even all the people who claim to be Scarlet mains don't use her too. I mean, I wouldn't blame them if they dropped her for someone who's more useful. Like Katana is honestly better now. Jade, even going Cetrion. Cetrion is pretty much a better version of Scarlet. Like any Scarlet player should probably just play Cetrion. To be honest, it's just just a better zoner. It pretty much has all the tools Scarlet has, but just better. So yeah. Next we have Sonya. So Sonya is such a why is she so downplayed? Why is Sonya downplayed? Sonya is so damn good in this game. She's just a mixed machine that gets damage, that can also zone. Like, what? How is that bad? How is that bad at all? Personally, I think she's a top tier, best character in the top tier, to be honest, in my opinion. In her first variation, she gets different things to counter different air attacks. Also gets crushing counters. Pretty much gains that standing and low parry. So she can parry low attacks. Not a lot of characters can do that in this game. And she just gets sick damage. In her base kit, she gets a lot of different tools that really help her get really good damage and also mix up her opponent. So then let's go ahead and talk about Ringmaster. So Ringmaster, you get energy ring charge, you get downward energy rings, and I'm pretty sure you can cancel with the energy ring charge to extend combos to get even more damage. I think it's unbreakable damage too at that. And then you get 10 Hunt, which is a really good zoning variation, and I think has a lot of potential, and actually a variation that I like to use because I think it's very fun to use. Most of the time you're going to see Ringmaster and No Holds Bar at high level though, and even in like Combat League and stuff, you don't see 10 Hunt that much, but I do like using 10 Hunt. It's a very fun variation to use and get some sick brutalities with. So yeah, I think she's downplayed a lot because I don't know, she has she has a lot of mix-ups, really good at whiff punishing, sick damage. Not sure why she's downplayed, to be honest. Yeah. So we'll go ahead and get into Sub-Zero now. Sub-Zero is a character I think is also kind of downplayed a little bit. I think a lot of people say he's a bottom. I remember for a long time he's been considered a bottom mid. I think see what's with Sub-Zero. See, he hasn't been really touched at all, and that made him, even though he hasn't been touched, so that means he hasn't got worse. And while other characters are getting worse, he's just staying the same. And I do think he's a mid-tier character, but I think he might be the best mid-tier character. And I think he's really proven. Actually, I might say Kano might be better. I think Kano might be better just because his set of variations is a bit better than Sub-Zero's. But first, his first variation is a very good variation. He still has that overhead low mix up you can go into your Ice Ball, which you can do some pretty good damage with Cold Shoulder, which is a very good, which replaces Slide, which I know a lot of people love that Slide, but very good move. When it comes to extra damage, Deep Freeze, which makes the Ice Ball amplified to give not only deal damage, absorb other projectiles, and you can't duck it anymore. So very good. Then you have Thin Ice, which I probably say is his second best variation. One of the best chip out moves. Got the air polar axe. Definitely very annoying, but I probably say isn't the best move. Personally, I think Aaron Black matches up well against this variation, to be honest. But so it doesn't give me too much trouble. But that's just personally with me. It might not be the case for everybody, but definitely one of the moves that can be kind of annoying. All jump projectile moves can be kind of annoying, but Death Circle Barrage, really good chip out move. Then you got Fridge Storm, which I don't think is really that good, to be honest. I'm gonna be honest, but that's just my opinion. You get the slide, you get the mix ups, you get the slide. Online it's just insane. Then you have Avalanche. I see a lot of people starting to use this variation more. Even though I do think Arctic Trap is still, you know what I'm saying? I think it definitely is a lot better than Aaron Black's trap. So yeah, it's a very good. It's still a pretty good trap. You know, you can do different subs with it. Creeping ice, keep yourself safe. It's a low, so double hitting low, I think actually too. So yeah, Sub-Zero is pretty good in this game. Next we have the Terminator. So the Terminator, I think personally, is a top tier character. I do think he's more of the bottom of top tier. That's just my opinion. I think he's kind of upplayed a little bit. I do think Terminator is very good. I think his second variation is where he's kind of upplayed, because people think this is his mixed variation. Nah. Destroyer has more mix, but it's just Dark Fate has that damn Running Man, which can be kind of annoying. But really, if you really just want to get away from it, you can do a short hop, and it works so well against the Running Man. And short hop has a much faster startup time than a regular jump, and you can punish him a lot better with that. He also gets a command grab. Actually, his command grab is actually really good. Now that I think about it, probably the second best command grab in the game. End up setting up that crushing blow, big time damage. But then you got Destroyer, which already has really sick damage and has really good mix up with the endo lunge, and just the character by default has a lot of mix ups. And Final Judgment, I think, is actually downplayed a lot. You get the Rolling Ion Grenade, which actually can set up a combo, and then you also get Incapacitator, which I think is what makes this variation downplayed. Even though it does replace Sawed Off, which I don't think Sawed Off is really the best of projectiles. I think Sawed Off projectile is definitely upplayed, since how you can enhance it and move forward or backwards. Like that shit don't matter because you can duck it all. Yeah, Thorough Grenade. But you pretty much Thorough Grenade to temporarily disable the opponent's ability to perform an amplified attack, flawless block attack, or get up attack, or use environmental interaction. So pretty much anything with defensive meter, which I think this low-key might affect Johnny Cage a lot too, and Jackie, since I'm pretty sure you can't use anything that uses defensive meter, which is crazy when you think about. I think this variation is very downplayed. I think it actually can be used, but just doesn't get used. Obviously, it doesn't get that much damage compared to the other two variations, but can be very, very, very useful. And I think it's more of a setup variation. Even though I don't think it's probably one of the better setup variations, still solid setup variation. Next, we have the rest of the DLC characters. First, we have Sindel. Sindel, who I think is kind of a little bit upplayed, to be honest, especially within her first variation. I think she's upplayed mainly because she's so damn annoying, but I think she's more of a mid-tier character. I do think she is. I'll probably say right there. I'll probably put her right there. Her Royal Endymion, I think, truly is her best variation, but most people are going to use Splitting Hairs because you can get that combo damage. And then you get the whip and flip, which can be a very, very annoying move to go up against. But this is one of the characters, even though she can be kind of annoying to play against, doesn't mean she's amazing. And if you learn the matchup, you can do a pretty decent job at shutting her down. She is very, very insane damage with the haircut, with the splitting hair variation. Loud and clear, she gets some pretty sick damage as well, but it's just a very hard variation to use to perform those combos, and I honestly just don't see a point of using this variation, because even though it's definitely a super fun variation to use, but I just don't see a point of using it. Then Royal Endymion, you get the Low Star Screamer, which is probably one of the better projectiles in the game. Royal Trap, really one of the best variations for closing out rounds. It does damage over time when the opponent is under the trap, and then you also get Banshee Barrage, which starts off combos, and you get some pretty solid damage with that as well. So. Yeah, Sindel's pretty good in this game, and I think she's definitely downplayed. So next, we have the Joker, which is the second character who I'm going to start using in tournaments more when I'm actually sweating really hard. Is the character I'm going to be using now, and yeah, I mean, I think it's pretty obvious why. I mean, Joker is a beast, dude. Joker is a freaking beast. I mean, he has three I think good variations. I think that his two best variations are obviously his best variation is Ace of Knaves. It's pretty much the setup variation. It's the variation I use. Very, very fun variation. You can be so creative with it and just do. You have so many options to do. So much tech you can do. I feel like it's one of the characters who is going to be. It is a very unique in MK11 because there's so many different ways to play it. Each person who uses this variation usually does something that's a little bit different than another person who uses Ace of Knaves. Then you have Madman variation, just straight up damage, just straight up sick damage. You get Kapow, which does sadly replace Bird Boy Beatdown, but which you don't get that mix up anymore. But you get such good pushback on it that you don't miss a beat when you're blocked, when your opponent is blocking, and then you can just do easy damage, and then you get Getting Lit, which is a damage over time variation, which can be pretty good for closing out rounds to create space. And I think Joker pretty damn good in this game. I think he's a top 5 character in the game, to be honest. I think he's 5th. Next you have Clown Prince, which I think is a variation you pretty much want to use in different matchups. So I think Clown Prince does a pretty good job against Liu Kang. I think he also does a pretty good job against some of the other characters who struggle against zoners. He gets that Batsy Pew Pew, which gives him a little bit more mix, which is fuzzyable mix, but still mix, and has such good pushback, and probably one of the better projectiles in the game. And his base toolkit is just so damn good. I mean, not really else to say about him. You get the Puppet Parry, which is pretty good as well, but honestly don't throw out too much. And then you get the Batsy Boot Cancel for mix. So yeah, I think Joker's very good. I'd say the only thing that really holds Joker back is him not having a really good grab, because his grab creates a lot of space, and he's not the best. Like his projectiles, his main projectile, the Batsy Poo, is not really the best of projectile. Obviously, his grab game is a lot stronger in his first variation, so you can play that keep away with Batsy Pew Pew. But with Batsy Poo, which I don't think is a terrible projectile, it's solid. Which solid is pretty much all he needs really, because he's he can, with the second variation Ace of Knaves, he can just close that gap that you get even in the third variation. In third variation, you can close that gap as well with it as well. So with the CCDGG, however you say it, it's a very, very good move for closing the gap, because you can enhance it to make it so that it bounces across the screen, and pretty much the opponent can't do anything about it, because if they try to call something out, they're going to get blown up. So yeah, it's a very, very good move, and I think Joker is a very, very pretty complete character. I think he's pretty. I think it's still kind of tough to say if he should be nerfed, or I definitely don't think he needs to be buffed. But if he should be nerfed in any type of way, there could be possibly a nerf coming to him. But I'm not sure. It's tough to say. It's a little bit early to say. But yeah, I do love Joker a lot, and he's gonna be a character I'm gonna be using a lot when I'm playing like really sweat mode. And then you have, the last character we have, and I think, it's Spawn. You know what I'm saying? It's a character who I think is going to be very good in this game. It's a little early, so it's still kind of, I'm still kind of hesitant where I want to put him, but I'll just go and talk about, talk about him a little bit. So his third variation, which I think is his best variation, has got that command grab, which has insane range. Obviously you can duck it, but it's a very, very, very good command grab. Then you got Raising Hell, which is a double low kind of move that can go full screen, which you do mix ups with, which is fuzzyable, but hey, it's fuzzyable, but it's not fuzzyable at the same time. I'm telling you, because the Hell Chain, you can't if you block in, you're going to get caught by that Hell Chain. Then you got his stance, which honestly I don't think is the best of stance. I don't think it's super good, but at the same time it can be kind of useful at the same time. I don't know, it's alright. I say his his base tools and Hell Chain and Erasing Hell is what really makes this variation really good. Sadly, he does miss out on the restand, which I think is a really good quality about him. But hey, then you get the one variation, the damage variation, the easy damage variation. It seems like a trend. You know what I'm saying? With you got one variation that's more of a, advanced. Well, not really advanced, because Hellspawn is not variation isn't really advanced. It's more for the rush down type of guys. But Spawn is the type of character you want to play patient. Has a pretty good projectile. He more of a spacing with punish type of character, and very damn good at it. And in this variation, if you get whiff punished by this character, it's going to be say goodbye to 35% of your life. So yeah, the only thing that sucks about this variation, you do lose out on Soul Shattering War Club, which is the move that which is unique to him, and you can pretty much breakaways, counter breakaways, and turn into a launcher. So yeah. Next, you have From Hell, which is his worst variation, which is a variation I think is downplayed quite a bit. People say this is like one of the worst variations in the game. I don't think that. I think his Blaze of Glory is a very good move, and it also his Guns Blazing. I think it's a downplayed move. It is fuzzyable. It is a fuzzyable mix-up, but it's still a mix-up. You know what I'm saying? Doing back one into Blaze of Glory, and then you can enhance it. Blind chip damage a lot. You can even catch people off guard sometimes with enhance. And then Gun Blazing is even though it does replace Necroblast, which is a really good projectile, and sometimes the Gun Blazing can even just whiff straight up. It's a really good anti-air, and it still can hit him sometimes. And obviously you hit him enhance, and you still get that damage. Then you get Airfall Angel, which is honestly not used too much, but what makes him good, this variation good, is his base kit. You get the restand. You get the what's that move called? The Soul Shattering War Club. You get, he gets a good. He has a good base kit, and you still get those really good whiff punish. I do think this is a little bit more of a. I think this variation can be very successful at casual level, but not that good at the high level. But that's just my opinion. Obviously, I didn't even put Spawn where I think he is. I think Spawn has the potential to be a top tier character. I really do, and I think especially within that third variation. So I'm gonna put him at bottom of top tier. This could change. He could go. I don't think he's an S tier character, to be honest, but he could be within anywhere the top tier, or he could be even anywhere within the bottom mid tier. Definitely not a bottom tier character though. But yeah. This is just my opinion. Once again, all this is my opinion. Everyone is entitled to their opinion, and obviously I'm gonna have people disagree and stuff like that. That's cool. If you want me to explain any of these characters more in depth, just leave a comment, and I can even if you want me to, I can even post a video of why I think this character, and literally just break down the character in general. Obviously, I already broke down all the DLC characters, so I'm not gonna break down those characters. I could, I guess, but if really needed, if I really needed to break down, I'm not breaking down Spawn again. I'm not breaking down Spawn again, but any other character in the game, I have no problem, doing a breakdown video. So if you want to see a breakdown video of any character in the game, drop it down in the comment section, and I can explain why my feelings on that character, and even what the tools that character does have, because every character in this game is usable. You can use any character and win with any character, but it's just some characters you just have to work a whole lot more, and sometimes it's not even just worth doing. But I don't know. Like I said, this is my opinion. Remember, just because a character is annoying doesn't mean he's good. And hope you guys enjoyed. Leave a comment. How you feel about the tier list. I will accept all comments, positive comments, negative comments. I'm all cool with it. I'm not tripping about any of the negative comments. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed. Leave a like if you did, subscribe if you're new to the channel, and peace out.